Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to discuss how to manifest literally anything. Yes, this includes a relationship with the person you refer to as your twin flame, if that's what you choose. This is above and beyond the twin flame template. So none of those rules apply here. Concurrently though, the rules that I'm going to give you work with the template, so don't worry about that. Now, the first thing that I have to go over before I unleash this crazy powerful video on you is that there's a few things you have to understand about why you're not doing this automatically. In a nutshell, it's beliefs. You have a lot of limiting beliefs. They are things that have been given to you. You could equate them to somebody handing you a suitcase when you were a child that you held onto because you thought it was temporary and it seemed to please them. And then you grew up and you forgot you were carrying that suitcase. You can drop it. The thing is, we have thousands of these suitcases. We have no idea how weighed down we are, all right? Now, most people that I meet who are on a twin flame journey are doing what a lot of humans that are kept in the same conditions their whole life are doing, which is that they are choosing an addiction to suffering. So what that means is that you are used to suffering. How do you know if you have an addiction to suffering? You have a victim mentality. The universe is teaching me a lesson. I don't have the power to do anything here and now. I've got to wait until a certain moon phase, until my progressed moon is blah, blah, blah. Oh, well, Mercury is retrograde right now. Oh, well, the divine masculine, divine feminine, collective consciousness is blah, 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 blah. Or you are like obsessed with your twin flame person. So you're like stalking them on social media. You excuse it. You're like, oh, well, we're friends, so I can just look at what they're doing. Like, you are powerfully giving your power away when you do this. You think the mind tells you that it's nothing to look at who they're following, to watch a tarot card reading. You are sending a powerful message out there through action to the universe that you do not create your own reality, that you are mesmerized by what's going on in the reality around you. So you won't be able to do what I'm going to tell you in this video. You won't. You're addicted to suffering. You have to pull your shit together first. You have no power when you're engaging in these small actions all day, every day, when you're engaged in the obsessive thinking. When you can't get it together and say, you know what, I'm taking control of my life. I'm going to become the center of my universe and actually embrace the power that you are. And when you're not meditating, so you're not engaging in intentional awareness of consciousness itself, becoming the watcher of the mind and the emotions. So you're detaching from them. If you're not doing this on a regular basis, you will not be able to do what I'm telling you in this video. Your mind is going to come up with 1,000 excuses. You're going to be like, but the truth, I'm obsessed with the truth. You create truth. You literally create everything. So you have to know that first, all right? Now, once you've chosen, I don't want to suffer anymore. I have no need to suffer. Nothing is worth it out there for me to suffer. Then you can move on to actual creative power, okay? Now, in order to do this, you have to understand the unified field. So what is the unified field? The unified field is sometimes known as pure consciousness, 5D, the vortex in Abraham Hicks' talk. It is above the time-space continuum. This is the unmanifested realm where every single possibility is equally possible. There's no size, right? This is where you can create, I think Abraham Hicks says, a castle as easily as a button, and I love that. It's from this field. How do you access this field? Through presence. It is here and now. Why? Because it's above the time-space continuum. Sometimes they call this the Big Bang threshold. So oftentimes people think of the Big Bang as some event in history where it's like the universe came to be and matter existed. But that's not how that actually works. It's a threshold. So matter is when energy slows down enough to participate in physical reality, that's below the time-space continuum. That's below the Big Bang threshold. So your body, your physical body, even your thoughts and your emotions, because they're measurable, they are below the time-space continuum. That is the part of you that participates in physical reality. The consciousness part of you, the watcher, is the part of you that is above the time-space continuum. That's why you access it here and now, because there is no time. There's no matter. This is unmanifested reality. So this is what you have to be able to access at will, easily, in order to create easily, manifest anything. You have to have the detachment from thoughts, emotions, okay? This is what meditation does for you. It's way more powerful than your mind wants you to think it is. So, when you're able to access the unified field, what you understand is that literally anything is possible. And it's all equally possible. And it doesn't take time, and it doesn't take you traversing space. All right? Because everything is here and now in the unified field. This is the place where you manifest from. And if you understand this, you are a much more powerful and intentional, same thing, manifester. All right? So the unified field, this, when you are accessing it, this is when you have your beautiful experiences where synchronicities are happening and you just feel so good and everything is happy. Why? This is higher energy. Pure consciousness is higher energy. It's above the time-space continuum. It feels much better. It is lighter. It is freer. It is more powerful. It is instant manifestation. It is things coming to you. It is inspired action, right? This is what they're talking about when they say in the vortex or living in synchronicity or in the 5D. You've had these experiences. If you had a twin flame experience, you had it hardcore when you had your bubble love phase, right? That's why you attached this experience you created onto that physical person. That's why the mind gets attached to that person, because it equates that experience with that person. That's a lie. That's a lie. This is the unmanifested field, so it doesn't have anything to do with any physical form, including your own body, your mind, and your emotions. All right? Now, how do you intentionally use this field to manifest literally anything? It's not hard. First of all, you have to have some practice. You have to get out of that suffering mentality. I'm a victim. It's all my fault. That thing that's like, I'm an empath, I attract narcissists. I'm a child, I don't know what I want. Life is just, throwing me here and there. I'm learning a lesson. Get over it. Like, that's all suffering addiction. If you have negative feelings throughout your day, it's because you're just used to it. You don't have to have any feelings other than pure bliss. You're just accustomed to it. So you have to watch yourself and be like, oh, why am I freaking out about this? Why am I having anxiety? Why am I choosing fear? Why am I choosing fear? You have to do this for a little while. This is what I help people do in my coaching, by the way, is get them to this empowered state where they barely even care about the physical form of their twin flame. This is the state you need to be in. It doesn't take time, but it takes practice. See, it's okay to fall out of it because you get practice in getting right back into it. So don't fear triggers. They're good. They help you become a master at this. All right? So once you have access to this field and you realize that reality itself doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And if you think about geniuses like Tesla, for example, Tesla easily went into this field where the reality around him didn't exist. They literally called him a schizophrenic. But he was able to go into a dream world of his own creation where he could create. And he would stay in it and create things. And then he could create them in the physical world easily. He was a genius, right? Genius is also, some people look at it and they say delusion or insanity. Don't be afraid of labels people put on you. They don't matter. Once you're accessing this wonderful, beautiful feeling field, living in the present, not attached to things outside of you, This is where your power is, okay? This is where you can start to have visions. So it's literally like a child having an imaginative world. You can't have imagination if you're in survival mode, which is what addiction to suffering is. It's survival mode, either high level, hardcore, or low level. Most people are in survival mode their whole lives, low level, all right? Once you're able to fantasize and have dreams of things that you want and desire without any mental stuff coming in and saying you can't have that because that'll never work because you can't be in that state to do this. You have to be able to just be like, wouldn't it be awesome if, oh, I would really love this, just like children do. Children are powerful manifestors. And you have to be able to marinate in that fantasy. And it helps to write. You can journal. You can write stories about yourself as if you're already living that life. Now, here's the kicker. You can manifest anything. And this is also how magic works. Magic is law of attraction, by the way. The reason it's been vilified by the religious leaders, like all the religions vilify this because it's self-empowerment. Religions don't want you self-empowered. They want you dependent on the church so that you give money, you give power to the church, etc. It's just politics. But this is what magic is. Magic tells you don't ever do a spell to try to attract any specific person, right? This is why. Because you can have a whole fantasy of maybe being in the relationship of your dreams, but you want to keep that person very vague. You want to keep that place, that beautiful place you live in, very vague. You want to keep that beautiful job you have very vague. You want to focus on the feeling of the experience while you're doing this. So if you're imagining yourself in some dream relationship, right? Do not picture your twin flame. Why? Because that person has a lot of restriction involved with them. You've had contrast with each other. You had separation. They did this, they did that, you did this, you did that. There's guilt. There's all these low feelings. Just replace them in the fantasy with somebody else. It doesn't matter. It can be someone very vague. I guarantee you, if you're like, let me open up to the perfect person, it's not even going to be them because they have personality traits that you don't like because you've experienced them in reality. Now, you just do this as much as you can, put in as much detail as feels good to you, what you're doing with this fantasy person, let's say, how you feel, the activities you participate in. Really get into it. Write stories about it. And then you have to let it go entirely. You have to let it go entirely. It was just fun, just like children do. They just have imaginations. They might write a fantasy story, then they go off and play. Now, the universe, really your higher self, delivers whatever you desire to you through the path of least resistance. What does that mean? That means it could very well come to you in the physical form of your twin flame. Very easily, especially if you have one of those on again, off again relationships. Very easily. But you cannot have an insistence on that. You have to remain open to all possibilities as much as possible. And this goes for any manifestation, whether you're trying to manifest a vacation, a new home, a new car, friends, a different career, money, whatever it is. And by the way, don't ever try to manifest money. You want to manifest specific things. Money is like time and space. It expands and collapses as needed. It's just the currency of energy, right? So you just have to focus on leaving it as open as possible. No insistence on a very specific outcome. Just remain in the state of it. Then you take actions as if you're already in that perfect state. So the actions you take, you cannot then go and stalk your twin flame. You're telling the universe, I'm powerless. You're destroying everything. You're choosing suffering. I mean, it's not permanently destroyed. You're just choosing suffering. It's an illusion anyway. You remain in that open state. You become a powerhouse of all possibilities when you do this. This is when you live in pure synchronicity because you don't care how it's delivered. You don't give a shit. You just want that feeling. So just focus on the feeling. Okay? This is it. It's so easy to manifest. It is so easy once you realize that when you choose suffering, you're just choosing not to be in alignment. So I hope that helps some of you. I love you so much. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to me if you're new to my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.